coming week, the airwaves, well, they'll be swamped with the words impeachment inquiry.
The center of this new impeachment inquiry.
We call it an impeachment inquiry.
Before launching an impeachment inquiry,
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi announces an impeachment inquiry.
The government whistleblower who set off the impeachment inquiry.
We really only have one topic to discuss.
Here's a live look at where the high-stakes hearing with the acting director of national intelligence.
What is in that whistleblower's complaint?
It is in the Constitution.
Secretary of State Mike Pompeo subpoenaed for Ukraine documents.
These past 10 days in September may prove pivotal. Key moment in the impeachment battle.
What I think has shifted is sort of the moral implications inside the Democratic caucus.
Donald Trump will leave Congress, in my view, no choice but to initiate impeachment.
Oy vey, as my loving grandma used to say. Don't get me wrong, we have a corrupt president. Not exactly breaking news. Should he be impeached? Yeah, for about 25 things. But do you need me to tell you that? Do you need status quo to cover this wall to wall? I don't think so. But let me tell you something else that's very scandalous. The fact that Flint, Michigan still does not have clean water 5.5 years later. The fact that Newark, New Jersey, Pittsburgh, Milwaukee, Cleveland, parts of Florida, parts of California, parts of Massachusetts, Detroit.
So the residents have had to bear this burden of the city screwing up, the state screwing up.
So this issue about water is a growing crisis in the Midwest, if you ask me.
And many other cities in America also have water problems. Another scandal. Black men continued to be executed by the police in the United Corporations of America.
So it's many inconsistencies that's in the situation. So we know, that it's plain out murder.
I understand or have some understanding of police culture, that they like to protect their own.
For years and decades, it's been an open season for black men.
After they dragged him for several feet, they put him back on the ground face down.
Another scandal. State parties all over the country, Democratic state parties, are screwing local progressive candidates, just like the DNC screwed Bernie Sanders in 2016. Another scandal. Fracking and these crude oil, natural gas, totally unnecessary, totally toxic pipelines are being built at a record rapid pace, and there are fighters on the ground getting no media coverage.
Since when is profit more important than water? When is profit more important than people?
So, if you want 24/7 Trump, 24/7 impeachment, 24/7 Ukraine, 24/7 Russia, whatever other scandal of the day, not your guy. But if you want on the ground, in the field reporting of the actual, true, long-lasting, happening way before Trump scandals in America, become a member. Statusquo.com/join for as low as a cup of coffee a month. Statusquo.com/join. Help us build the media revolution. We go out in the field. We've been all over this country in the last 2 years.
Standing Rock. I've been with you. I've been with you since Standing Rock.
Wow, you got me on right now. We're doing it, baby. We're going to South Bend. It's time to show the real Mayor Pete.
In 100 days, they tore down 1,000 houses in 100 days.
Thank you, whether it's Standing Rock or Flint or everything else you do. You know, you guys, it's not even like watching news. It's just watching truth, you know.
It's not me and you, Jordan. It's the ruling class. It's David Koch. It's the Walton family, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk. It's them, not us, that benefit from these illegal offensive wars.
Come on over here.
We're here at the Bellagio in Las Vegas, and you are going to see live the actual caucus process. We are here.
We go out in the field, and we give the microphone back to the people.
Yo! Cool! I know who you are, yo! How you doing, man? You're the man, yo!
Unmarked pills, okay.
Ooh, essential oils, purification. Oh, peppermint. La la la. Love it.
I am worried about Jordan, testing positive. He doesn't have any breathing difficulties right now, but he definitely has a cough that's been really bad and that's been hurting his chest.
That's Fury right there. I've cleared out the desk and now got my drill a hole and we'll see how this goes. Hopefully well. I know a general idea of what I want, essentially, so I'll try and get all this down to about a minute, get the main points, especially I got 2 videos at least for Flint.
The bottom line is, it's Sunday morning, I'm preparing for my Sunday live stream, which usually takes me about 2 hours to prepare for before the live stream. And I got an email from a viewer.
Hey guys, Jen Dice here with a behind the scenes video. First of all, thank you so much for being a member. It's because of you guys that Jamal and I are able to be here. We can't thank you enough. It means just the world to us.
where brave men and women gave voice to the voiceless. But then the corporations bought the journalist, poisoning the news that we are fed. With those tainted sources, all we ever ate was a steady diet of status quo. This hijacked narrative hid the truth of mass suffering, injustice, and corruption throughout our land. Status quo, status quo, status quo, status quo. To expose this shift to oligarchy came a band of honest journalists. They left the studio and hit the streets to give the microphone back to the people. From sea to sea, the people were empowered to share their truth. Their voices no longer stifled, reclaimed their power. Join the media revolution now.
Hey there, Jordan Sheridan live with Jen Dice.
Hello, everyone.
Let me know if you could hear me, if you could see me, if you could hear Jen. Do I have the right microphone playing? Hold on. Hold on. There might be a delay. 1 second. All right, we're working. Jen, how you doing on this fine day? You had a little mini vacation. The world fell apart while you were gone?
Yeah, it was my older son's birthday. He turned 13, which was crazy. So we went to Gettysburg, actually, which we do every year. And then we heard the announcement that everyone's favorite president, Donald Trump, may be giving his acceptance speech there in a couple of weeks. So
Wow.
Bad news all around.
Very nice, very nice. Well, before we get to the completely inspiring, uplifting speech Kamala Harris just gave, we got 200.
According to the blue checks on Twitter, it was like the second coming of Jesus.
Well, you know what, Jen? You know what? Oh, do you know that Sky News in London just asked me to do an interview?
Nice.
At 7 o'clock Eastern time, which...
Being on the RNC's email seems to have really boosted your streak thread, Jordan.
Yeah, apparently the Republican National Committee sent out an email with some tweets of mine. Who else was there? Kyle Kalinske?
Walker, Kyle.
Oh, well, whatever.
Michael Tracy, who they called a leftist. He's clearly not a leftist.
But
anyway.
We'll talk about this later. But this is what they're going to do. They're going to try and twist any progressive that has the audacity to just speak the truth about Biden, Harris, into Republicans, into Green Partiers, into communists, into Trump, supporters. And I just say, hey, let them spin and propagandize as they want. But I'm just going to keep telling the truth. So anyway, should I get back to them that I'll do it at 7?
Yeah, you should do it.
All right, so I'll do it at 7. So 236 people watching, 156 likes. I need every single person watching right now. Smash that like button. The more people that press like, the more people that will see this very live stream. Also, if you don't If you sign up as a member this week, hold on. If you sign up as a member this week at a monthly rate, you will get a free mask. If you sign up as a member at an annual rate, you will get a free mask and shirt. Annual is $179 annually. And you can join our members call this Thursday, 7:30 Eastern time. Colin, I'm going to reprimand you. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, no, you're right. That is the right date. Oh, that's tomorrow. I didn't even know that. Okay, so sign up as a member today or tomorrow. Not only are you getting the free mask if you sign up monthly, not only are you getting the free mask and shirt if you sign up annual, but you will get a link to join our members call, which is tomorrow night, 7:30 Eastern time. Jen, I got to say, last member call was off the chain. Absolutely bonkers. I don't know if we could outdo the last member's call, but we'll try tomorrow night. So,
I think we can outdo it. And I want to make it clear. So the mask that you get free for signing up as a member for a limited time, we only have 50 total and about 20 are spoken for. So this mask is different than the one you can get in the store. So if you've already gotten the one from our Teespring store, this is a totally different one. Obviously, it's still a black mask with our logo on it, but it's different, and it's a collector's item. So statuscoup.com/join. And yeah, I totally think we can outdo the members call for sure.
Hold on.
That we did last time.
How's that? How's that audio? God, I can't. Is that better? Is that better? 1 2 1 2. 1 second. Okay, we're good. So, Let's get to it. Jen, did you see Kamala Harris's speech?
I did not, because I was doing an interview that you guys will see tomorrow.
Okay. So.
But I saw parts of it.
So, I watched Kamala Harris's speech. First of all, I want to be clear. I want to be clear. I don't think Kamala Harris's speech was bad. I think that regardless of my feelings politically, it's fine to acknowledge this is a good thing that a woman of color is one of the top two, president or vice president. First time it's ever happened. I could say that with a straight face. This is not the woman of color that I would have preferred to be vice president or president. But I do think for our history in the United Corporations of America, particularly in this moment of racial reckoning, that it should be noted that it's historic and it's a good thing, regardless of who it is. I would think you agree, Jen, right?
Absolutely. I mean, we all know Kamala Harris is not who we wanted. It's, we could have had a Nina Turner VP, even a, Barbara Lee would have been great. So with that aside, with policies aside, which I know it's hard for all of us to put policies aside, but it is historic. It is good that she's a woman. She's a Black woman. She's also Indian. So I think we do need to acknowledge that those are historic, good things.
Right. So that's where my kindness ends, and I don't really care what the wine moms say. I don't care what the resistance says. I don't care if the RNC sends out emails with my tweets. I don't care. I'm just going to keep it real because as dangerous as Trump is, I think the status quo is just as dangerous. Frankly, I think Biden might be a regression from the status quo, actually. So first, I want to make the note that I want to play this CNN clip before Kamala Harris's speech because I think it says it pretty accurately what Biden and Harris and how they're going to run their campaign for the next 3 months, which, I don't know, unless you have amnesia, seems to be exactly the way Hillary Clinton ran her campaign. Let's take a look.
Say is that as important as it is to have excitement for a ticket in any year, in any scenario, the Biden campaign still is on a track right now to, they hope, keep this a referendum on the president and keep this a referendum on the president's leadership, or they argue lack of leadership in so many ways, but most importantly right now during this pandemic. And so, they definitely want people to vote for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, but they also want to keep everybody, kind of zeroed in on the notion that Donald Trump should get fired. And they just want to make sure that these two are acceptable to be replacements for for Donald Trump. It may be an obvious notion, but it's really different than we've seen in so many times in the past when you have an incumbent president. And
So, the Biden campaign is on a track. And by the way, this is a motherfucking super chat. So can we get some love?
Super chat.
Jen is gonna yell at me for cursing. We had a whole discussion about my potty mouth, but I digress.
All I said was it was a lot the other day.
It was a lot, but this is a super chat, so please bring in those super chats if you can. By the way, we're still trucking along on our GoFundMe, so we're less than $7,000 to go. So we greatly, greatly appreciate all your contributions in the GoFundMe. Keep it coming in the super chat, GoFundMe, whatever you prefer. So, Jen, in that clip, Dana Bash is a CNN... Dana, excuse me, is a CNN reporter, and she's saying that the Biden campaign, yes, ideally we'd love excitement for a presidential campaign, but the Biden campaign is very, very keen on keeping this a referendum on Donald Trump. Well, 2016 wasn't necessarily a referendum on Donald Trump because it was an open election and Trump wasn't the incumbent, but it was certainly a, dart throw at Donald Trump, never ending. Trump is the Antichrist. Trump is Hitler. Trump is dangerous. Vote for me. There was no bold vision, the Hillary Clinton's bold vision was Medicare for all will never, ever, ever come to pass. So CNN is basically saying, and they know, I mean, they're talking to Biden campaign people. They're all in the same club. They all go to the same cocktail party, that you're not going to actually hear anything that's going to necessarily inspire not the Biden base. Like the older African-American women, they're coming out regardless, particularly now with Kamala Harris. The older, white MSNBC viewers, they're coming out for Biden and Harris. But you're not going to necessarily hear anything that's going to inspire black people under 50, brown people under 50, white people under 50, independents. It's all going to be Trump is the Antichrist. Jen, do you recall that strategy working in a far, far galaxy away?
I do not, in fact, recall that strategy working, which is why we've ended up with who we've ended up with. The Democrats continue to just not get it. They don't understand the people of this country. They're trapped in this bubble of centrism and hubris that they just can't see past themselves. And here they are doing it again, of course.
And thank you very much for the super chat. Dan Alfs, $4.99. I've heard that Nick Brana has reached out to Jesse Ventura to speak at the People's Convention and to help him win his independent presidential run. Okay. I haven't heard that, but I don't know how he's going to win his independent presidential run if he isn't running as an independent. Did I miss something, Jen? Didn't he declare he's not running because of a family health thing? Jesse Ventura?
As far as I recall, they were trying to draft him for the Green Party. So, and then he said, no, he wouldn't do that. I cannot remember the reason. So tell us in the chat if you guys remember. I haven't heard about this potential independent run, so I can't speak on that. But it did not seem like he was going to run this year. But maybe they were just talking about him coming to the MPP event and speaking versus running. Right. I'm not sure.
Right. And by the way, I just want to note, not a super chat, but an all-star comment. Raisin at 35. Jordan does not violate basic etiquette when he swears. It's not vulgar potty mouth at any rate. Thank you, Raisinette. I appreciate the kind words. Anyway, all right, so that's just CNN. So I watched the full Kamala Harris speech. You didn't. You were doing an interview. But literally within a minute and a half, this is what she had to say.
America is crying out for leadership. Yet we have a president who cares more about himself than the people who elected him. A president who is making every challenge we face even more difficult to solve. But here's the good news. We don't have to accept the failed government of Donald Trump and Mike Pence. In just 83 days, we have a chance to choose a better future for our country. So, Joe.
So to me, again, I want to be clear, there's nothing necessarily terrible about Kamala Harris's speech. Frankly, she speaks a lot better than Joe Biden these days for obvious reasons. So I'm not criticizing her speech. It's not bad, but it's essentially the exact deja vu of Hillary Clinton's speech, Hillary Clinton's campaign. Within a minute and a half, she's already going at Trump. Of course, during a speech where you are running to unseat the incumbent, you're going to want to go after the incumbent, while simultaneously talking about what you're for, why people should be inspired to come out for you, what your bold vision is going to be once you get rid of this tyrannical dictator. That part isn't there. They didn't speak about what they're for. Biden didn't before Kamala Harris spoke today, and Kamala Harris used the buzzwords, those classic neoliberal phrases at the cocktail hours. We need to ensure people have access to affordable health care. So I'm sitting here, and I don't care if the RNC puts me on an email list, so be it. Truth is truth. Are they intentionally trying to lose? Because, and we're going to talk about this, Jen, but literally, Nate Silver, who I don't always agree with, Nate Silver just came out with his forecast. Here is what Nate Silver is forecasting. Let me get it. Joe Biden has a 71% chance, at winning. Donald Trump has a 29% chance. That might sound good on the surface, Jen, but that's what Hillary Clinton's final odds were in 2016. Now, to be fair to Hillary Clinton, Biden's odds are at 71% in August of 2020. Hillary's odds were at 71% in end of October, right before the election. So obviously Biden still has time to improve his odds. But I kind of think, I don't know about you, Jen, it's a five alarm fire or 5-alarm something.
Yeah, that's right.
During a deadly pandemic and a looming depression, Joe Biden has the same odds that Hillary Clinton had in a on paper decent economy. I say on paper because the economy wasn't that great, but on paper decent economy in 2016. You would think Joe Biden right now would be at 80, 85, 90% odds of winning, but he's at the same exact odds. And I'm not going to read you the whole story, but the accompanying story that Nate Silver wrote was, it's way too soon to count Trump out. So I bring this up, Jen, because Biden has a lot of Hillary Clinton's old people around him, but he also has a lot of Obama's people around him. And it's remarkable to me, you know, I don't think it's the right pick for all the reasons I outlined yesterday, but all right, they pick somebody that's going to excite the base, but they're not actually running a different campaign. To me, Kamala Harris is kind of like Tim Kaine in terms of you already had the people you're exciting right now were already coming out to vote for Joe Biden. The people you are trying to get are the people that Hillary Clinton lost in 2016. That would be, again, I'm going to keep saying these stats. Hillary Clinton lost 5% of the black vote compared to Obama in 2012. She had 5% less Latinos come out for her as compared to Obama in 2012. And she had 6% less age 18 to 29 come out for her in 2016 compared to Obama in 2012. That is who you need to come out in increased numbers if you're going to beat Trump. They could try and get every Lincoln Project moderate Republican there is in America, but there's not enough to go around. And most of those people are going to vote for Trump or just not vote. So to me, running the exact same campaign Hillary Clinton ran on steroids is not a good idea.
Well, it seems like they just won't learn their lesson, right? They made so many mistakes in 2016. Well, Hillary was a mistake. Pushing her was a mistake. Their Pied Piper strategy to get Trump in the Republican slot was a huge mistake. And everyone seems to forget that point in the blue MAGA, as everyone's calling them. And they just, again, they're trapped in their own bubble. They have no idea what to do. They surround themselves with the very same people who helped Hillary lose. And of course, yes, they do have Obama people who, of course, won twice, but we're in a completely different political landscape than we were in 2008 or 2012. So they have to know what's going on now. They have to know how to inspire people beyond their base now, and they're just not doing it. Again, their slogan is Build Back Better. Who is that inspiring? Kamala, she has her K-Hive, who are very ferocious on Twitter and other social media, by the way, way worse than supposed Bernie bros ever have been. But they just got a glowing write-up about being a team or an army behind Kamala. Anyway, she doesn't inspire people. Like Jordan said, those people who were on the fence or have gone back and forth, there's nothing inspirational there beyond identity politics. Yes, she's a woman. Yes, she's a black woman. Yes, she's also an Indian woman. But beyond identity politics, which is all it takes for normie Dems to fall in love with a candidate, there's no pool there. There's no pool there for true progressives. There's no pool for independents, which, by the way, independents are the largest voting bloc in the country. They need to be winning those independents. And Bernie Sanders, of course, and Bernie Sanders' policies are extremely well liked by independents. But the Biden-Harris ticket not inspirational. I would say she has maybe a little more charisma than Kane did, which wouldn't take much. Like maybe a snail even has better charisma than him, but there's no inspiration there. Their campaign is falling flat, and they truly are campaigning just on Trump is bad. And I don't know if you guys have looked at Trump's Twitter, as we try not to do, but it's often shoved in our faces. And also the Team Trump Twitter, they had a series of ads ready to go the minute Kamala had the it was released that she had the VP slot. So they're just going to keep hitting. And I think, like Jordan has said, Trump might start pivoting to the left. He might out-left the supposed leftists. And on the Nate Silver point, we all know Nate Silver's most recent predictions tend to not come true. After Obama's runs, he really kind of lost his sparkle, let's say. So it's no surprise that Nate Silver is proudly presenting his figures. In my opinion, they really mean nothing. And I also think that all of the polls right now truly mean nothing when it comes down to it. They're informative in certain ways. They kind of tell the campaigns where to go, what to do. But truly, until, there's 3 months left, so much could happen in that span of time. This is 2020. You never know what's going to happen. And I think Trump and his team are so good at propaganda. And with Kamala focused on, I don't know, Jordan, if that was the clip where she talked about Ebola. Was that the one?
No, that's the next one.
Okay. So I'll talk about that later, but just simply highlighting what Trump does wrong is not the way. She really and Biden really need to talk about what they're going to do for the people, which, because the Democratic platform is nowhere near what it needs to be, is not much at all. Simply access to good things, not actual good things.
Right. Let me read some super chats. Wendy Melly, $5. I'm in a blue state, so I'm voting third party. That's understandable. Dan Alfs, $2.99. We're going independent. His health issue is clear. Yeah, I mean, we've been talking about it here for over a year. It's clear as the eye can see. Shane Bapka, $4.99. This country will burn regardless if Trump or Biden wins. Doesn't matter anymore who you vote for. Either way, you're going to suffer. I think we're in the facing a looming depression. So I agree. And I think if we weren't in a deadly pandemic, there would be riots in the street right now. I really do think that, based on the fact that we are going on the second week where people that were receiving the $600 extra a week are not receiving it anymore. You're going to see an increase in homelessness because evictions are going to start to happen along the same time, and just despair. And when people have nothing to lose, that's when violence happens. I'm not encouraging it, but that's how that works. Emblemed Fate, $5. In the middle of BLM protests, you choose two candidates who love prisons. Laverly, I've said it before. At least the Repubs don't pretend they're not racist. He did pick the top cop as his vice president, thinking that Black Lives Matter wouldn't notice or care, thinking that they could just, again, make this a total referendum on Trump and people would just hold their nose, even though you got the author of the crime bill and somebody that in California as Attorney General imprisoned a whole lot of black people, kept people in jail that even when there was reason to think they were innocent. I mean, we've gone over Kamala Harris's record here. It is not good. A Sly Doc, $4.99. Black men shouldn't vote for this ticket. Both candidates were instrumental in destroying the lives of black men. Did I miss anything else? Okay. Let me play.
There's a new one, George Allen at the bottom.
George Allen, $10. Hi, Jordan and Jen. Could you guys please add Kamala to the graphic of the ship heading into the iceberg? Hey, George Allen.
That's a good idea.
George Allen, your wish is my command. Look at that. We already had it. We got to update it because I think we're probably going to want to throw Mayor Pete on there because I think he's going to become Secretary of Platitudes. We'll probably want to add, who else on there? Nicole Wallace from MSNBC, who now is a star. But there you got Kamala, Joe Biden. Screenshot that, get it out on Twitter, because I think that is very, very accurate. Keep those super chats.
Won't put Elizabeth Warren on there because she sold out and got nothing in return, so she doesn't deserve to be on the ship.
I'm gonna get to her. Keep those super chats coming. I only have 20 minutes left because apparently Sky News likes to ask people 20 minutes before they want you. Rafael Rodriguez, choosing another centrist as VP was the last middle finger towards progressives. Once again, they alienate progressives. So much for unity. All right, so let me show you this other clip. Keep those super chats coming. By the way, we got 460 people watching. 299 of you have pressed that like button. I need another.
Smash it.
I need another 150. Another 150 of you. Please, please, please smash that like button. If you don't like me, do it for Jen. All right.
Do it.
Let me play this other clip. Kamala Harris, not telling you what they're for, telling you Trump is the Antichrist. Therefore, you have to vote for us.
And the people are who Joe and I will fight for every day in the White House. And let me tell you, as somebody who has presented my fair share of arguments in court, the case against Donald Trump and Mike Pence is open and shut. Just look where they've gotten us. More than 16 million out of work. Millions of kids who cannot go back to school. A crisis of poverty, of homelessness, afflicting Black, brown, and indigenous people the most. A crisis of hunger, afflicting 1 in 5 mothers who have children that are hungry. And tragically, more than 165,000 lives that have been cut short. Many with loved ones who never got the chance to say goodbye. It didn't have to be this way. 6 years ago, in fact, we had a different health crisis. It was called Ebola. And we all remember that pandemic. But you know what happened then? Barack Obama and Joe Biden did their job. Only 2 people in the United States died. 2. That is what's called leadership. But compare that to the moment we find ourselves in now. When other countries are following the science, Trump pushed miracle cures he saw on Fox News. While other countries were flattening the curve, he said the virus would just, poof, go away. Quote, like a miracle. So when other countries opened back up for business, what did we do? We had to shut down again. This virus has impacted almost every country. But there's a reason it has hit America worse than any other advanced nation. It's because of Trump's failure to take it seriously from the start.
What is amazing to me, and this is why I keep saying, almost like they're trying to lose, she's borrowing the same exact cheesy lines she used in her presidential primary campaign. Remember? I'm here to prosecute the case against Donald Trump. She had to drop out before her home state. She was doing that bad. Again, she's not, she's just not a good campaigner. She's not inspiring. She kind of comes off a little stiff, in my view. Again, it's a good thing. A black woman is on the ticket. I think it's historic. But you're literally just taking the same canned cheesy lines that were a major fail when you ran for president and adopting it as your vice presidential nominee and taking it to Trump and Pence. Like, who are you trying to convince? You already, the people that you're speaking to in this language are already coming out for you. How are you going to sway black people under the age of 50, specifically under the age of 40? Brown people under the age of 40. Latinos did, Bernie captured the Latino vote, basically. Independents. Basically just telling them what they already know, Donald Trump is terrible, is not the magic potion to get them to actually take the act to either come out during a pandemic or take the effort to mail in the vote. And that's how you depress turnout. That's how you lose, even if it's by 80,000 votes. That's how you lose, by the way, when there's going to be more fuckery than you could ever even imagine. Oh, what Donald Trump and the Republicans are going to try in terms of election fraud, tossing out ballots, delays, lawsuits. We're not going to see, there is no way the election is going to be for sure known on election night, unless Biden were to win by a blowout, which I don't see is happening. So we've already established they are running Hillary Clinton's campaign on steroids. It's
down to not reaching out to or appealing to leftists, true leftists and progressives. They think they don't need them.
This is giving a middle finger to leftists.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Tim Kaine was a middle finger to leftists. I would say Kamala Harris is a middle finger to actual progressives, because progressives didn't go for her during the campaign. I mean, look at data for something polls. It's college age students. She was always ranking very, very low. So Biden could have even given off the appearance of giving a damn. I mean, Karen Bass isn't my capital P cup of tea. She's not capital progressive, but she would be better than Kamala Harris. Barbara Lee would be better than Kamala Harris. Mm-hmm. It would have cost Biden really nothing to choose somebody along those lines. It's not Nina Turner, but it's better than Kamala Harris. And he chose this. And not only that, to me, either they're giving a middle finger, or they truly don't understand the composition of the Black Lives Matter movement. Mm-hmm. You and I have both covered these protests. If you took a poll of the hardcore activists and the hardcore BLM people out there, I don't think Kamala Harris is their top choice for anything. I mean, most young people under the age of 40, definitely under the age 30, who are out at these protests either know her record or will find out very quickly. And the younger generation is not married to the Democratic Party like the older generation. So I think that this is, listen, a lot could change. Of course, what's different about now than 2016 is, I mean, we're at 165,000 people dead. That number is going to keep going up. Trump, I mean, to be clear, Trump has mishandled this and then some. I do think, even though I'm not a President Obama fan, I think if he were president during this, it would be different. We'd still have a lot of death, but at least we'd have some competence. We wouldn't have this science denying and sniff hydrochloride and all this craziness. So on that, I think anybody would be better, of course. And let's not forget, these are real people who are losing their lives and the families wrecked in their wake. However, the polls are still, the national polls right now are showing Biden up by 8. That's significant, but it's not 15 to 20. And I just don't see Kamala Harris giving him the big bump he needs. She's a good debater. I think she'll have a good debate against Mike Pence. She's not a particularly uplifting speaker. And they're not running on anything. They're not running on Medicare for all. They're not running on a Green New Deal. They're not running on universal paid sick leave. They're not running on a New Deal with a government jobs program to deal with this mass unemployment. They're running on tax credits. They're running on job retraining. They're running on, what did Biden say? Learn how to code? I mean, oh my God, this is like The Onion. I wish this were like The Onion, but Biden has said things like, people could learn how to code and artificial intelligence. Yeah, the forklift lifter will learn how to code. So I just think
he's really missing this movement too, because of course with the George Floyd murder and Breonna Taylor's murder and so many Black people, like the murder of so many Black people at the hands of police, they're really missing the moment. Joe Biden wants to increase police funding, and then he orders the top cop, as Jordan said at the top of the show. They just can't see beyond themselves. They think that everybody's just going to love them and all of their centrist policies, and they just don't see it.
It's unbelievable. And I also want to draw to your attention, and this is just, to me, it's sad, but at the same time, it's not shocking at all. Where was this? Oh, I lost it. Let me get it from my Twitter. By the way,
while you find it, I also want to mention in that clip, that was the clip that talked about Ebola, and she was saying if Obama handled Ebola so much differently, and she said, what was it, only 2 people got it or only 2 people died from the U.S., I can't remember. And so she's comparing that, which is propagandizing the situation in a few ways. Obviously, it's horrible. Trump has murdered so many people by his inaction, by his disgusting propaganda against mask wearing and good practices to keep the spread down. But Kamala is twisting things very specifically, very strategically, in a way that isn't true. And I think people see beyond that. You can't compare Ebola and COVID.
Right. And keep those super chats coming. We really, really appreciate it. Thank you, John Kemper, $5. I'm going Jen Jordan ticket. Wow, Jen, you're the president. He put,
I get to. Yeah,
he put you first, me second.
Thank you, John. You truly are a progressive.
I'll try to sleep tonight. Hold on. Dan Alfs, $4.99. Hey, could you reach out to Richard Idris on Twitter to get an interview with the people for Jesse campaign? Yes, one of us will write that down to try and get an interview with Jesse Ventura.
Email us, info@statusquo.com, so we don't forget.
Yes, email us, info@statusquo.com. Jose, $5. Thanks for covering all this, especially for the protest coverage. Always, always, always. We really appreciate it. And by the way, if you came to this late, quick reminder, tomorrow, 7:30 Eastern time, 4:30 Pacific, is our monthly members call with Jen and I. So sign up as a Status Quo member today or tomorrow, and you will get the link through Zoom to join us on our video call. You don't have to be on video. You can mute your video and just listen. But we take questions, comments, concerns. We laugh, we cry, we scream. It's a lot of fun. And as a reminder, if you sign up as a Status Quo member, as a monthly member for as low as $5, you're getting a free Status Quo mask. If you sign up as an annual member at $179 annually, you will get a free mask and a shirt. So great perks to get you in. Right now, we are at 1,711 members. Unfortunately, we've lost a lot of members due to COVID. So having to cancel, that is, due to losing jobs and such. So I want to read this to you because, Jen, this is so emblematic of what's going on. I tweeted this. Look at this. Joe Biden's campaign declined to comment when asked if he supports Kamala Harris's plan with Bernie Sanders and Ed Markey to provide $2,000 every month to millions of Americans during the pandemic. Let me read a little more. This is from the Washington Post. Her positions are, I think it's fair to say, a few ticks to the left of where Biden has been. Yes and no. Said David Hopkins, a political scientist at Boston College. A spokesperson for the Biden campaign declined to comment on whether the campaign supports Harris's effort to provide $2,000 monthly checks throughout the crisis. The spokesperson also declined to comment on Harris's Relief Act, which, in addition to banning evictions and foreclosures, would bar landlords from reporting unpaid rent to credit agencies. So basically, Joe Biden's campaign will not even answer if they agree with the vice presidential pick that they chose on giving direct UBI right now, or if we should halt evictions. He's going to have a little talking with her. Say, Kamala, I got it. You had to do a little wink and nod to try and get this. You had to, appear more progressive, but no more putting the cart before the horse. We need to get permission before we could put things out, because this is the United Corporations of America, and we're not here to actually provide relief for the working man and woman of America. I just find that so amazing that Biden, this whole restore the soul of the country, which basically doesn't mean anything. It basically means let's put corruption back where it belongs, in the back room. Let's stop the crazy tweets. Let's stop the racist tweets, but keep everything else the same. The economic order will stay the same. That's what that's telling you by saying, yeah, we're not going to comment on Kamala Harris actually, in that case, proposing something good.
Well, that's what a lot of these centrist Dems told us, and these liberals told us. Like, okay, Joe is Joe. He won the nomination. Let's all get behind Joe. And they all told us, just wait. He'll pick a more progressive vice presidential candidate. And it'll be a woman, and it'll be all good. Well, even though Kamala is further left than he is, which doesn't take much at all, he's not commenting on her leftist policies. And even Kamala, she just for campaign reasons came out with a support of Medicare for all early on. She, of course, walked that back. So they always tell progressives, just wait. Like, vote against the bad person. Just wait. We'll make some concessions. It'll work out. You can inch your way towards more progressivism. It doesn't work that way. It just doesn't work.
Right. George Allen got you guys $5. Got you guys on GoFundMe. Don't spend it all in one place. Thank you, George.
Thanks, George.
Let me see what you did on GoFundMe. Thank you. $10 in the GoFundMe, George. We're less than $7,000 to go towards our ultimate goal. So if there is some progressive patriot out there that wants to get us going, we definitely need to hit that goal to shore us up to have enough money for reporting and advertising. We've been doing some ads on Reddit and elsewhere, so keep it coming. The final thing I'll say on this, because unfortunately I got to go soon with this Sky News interview I'm doing that they asked me to do 20 minutes ago. By the way, if you're new here, subscribe to this channel. So important. We're almost at 88,000 subscribers. So definitely hit that subscribe button. Click all notifications, which is the bell. YouTube will probably notify you 20% of the time, but oh well. But definitely subscribe if you're new. To me, and again, I want to be clear. My critique of Kamala Harris and Joe Biden does not mean I'm telling you to vote for Donald Trump. You couldn't pay me enough to vote for Donald Trump. I'm not going there. I hear some people are like, burn it down, I'm voting for Trump. I totally disagree with that.
Yeah,
you don't vote for someone that if they stay in power for 4 more years, we might not have a planet. I mean, the climate crisis is here. Donald Trump is 100 times worse than anybody, including Biden. That is objectively true. You don't vote for racists. You don't vote for fascists. So Trump, there's plenty to talk about with Trump. Obviously, we don't do it a lot because it's just we don't have anything else to add that all these other outlets aren't doing ad nauseum. However, to me, it's completely, again, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but it makes you wonder if they're intentionally trying to lose. Because if Donald Trump gets another 4 years, the money keeps rolling in. The movie will be that much more tense, and you know, MSNBC will have a lot to play with for the next 4 years. The consultants will have a lot to play with. They could blame Russia again, which they're already starting to lay the groundwork that Russia is starting to, quote, interfere. It's just maddening to me. And you want to know something? Yeah, they'll come out with some things here and there. I'm sure they'll have, you know, tax credits aimed at the middle class, or I don't know, some technocratic plan. Because Hillary Clinton, if you looked on her website, had policies. They just weren't game changers. They weren't bold. They were marginally better, which is what the Democratic Party has proposed. That's what they've been proposing for the last 40 years, marginally better. And I'm reading a book about Henry Wallace that the Nation's John Nichols wrote. Honestly, not a lot has changed from the 1940s to now in terms of this cyclical cycle of the Democratic Party rigging conventions, rigging elections, the party bosses basically deciding the nominee, and the Democratic Party continually moving more and more to the right, making themselves a managerial party, a party of the professional worker, and moving away from the working class, the blue collar FDR New Deal generation, and basically shitting on any progressives. Henry Wallace was basically Bernie Sanders before Bernie Sanders was a thing. You know,
you're making me nervous. You only have 2 minutes.
Oh, that's right. So I do have to go because Sky News, which is Rupert Murdoch's right-wing play toy, asked me to do an interview. And, you know, we do want to get Status Quo out there, and I should change into something a little more professional. So we will be live again tomorrow around 4:30 Eastern Time. Our members call tomorrow, 7:30 Eastern Time. That's 4:30 Pacific. statusquo.com/join. Sign up as a member today so you could get a link to our members call tomorrow. That's going to be a lot of fun. Jen, anything else before we go?
No, just thank you guys all for the super chats. Join. You get a free mask that's only for people who join as members. We only have 50 of them. We have about 30 left. statusquo.com/join. Ask us all your burning questions tomorrow.
All right. Sorry it had to be short today. They literally asked if I could come live in 45 minutes right when I got on. But whatever. It's cool that I'll be on. At least some country wants us, Jen. But whether the United Corporation wants us or not, we are here to stay. Sign up, statusquo.com/join. Subscribe if you haven't, and we will see you tomorrow live. And for the members call at night, thank you so much for the super chats. We just got another one.
Thanks, TD Hader.
Aditi. And email us, info@statusquo.com with any story ideas, any pitches, or ideas you have. Peace out.